Ready, Nigel?
Yeah.
All right, let's kill this. Let's kill this bad boy.
Started already?
Yeah, we're started. We're up.
All right.
We're
Hey,
live.
hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of what we call the Jump Cut.
And as usual, I'm always very late.
I'm Nigel,
I'm also Nigel.
and this is basically a show where we talk movies, TV, and everything geek culture.
Yeah, that's what we do.
This week we will be talking about Spider-Man Far From Home and Anabelle Comes Home. Hey, never knew.
And yesterday.
Oh, and yesterday, I'm sorry.
Which Nigel totally saw and he loves. Is that your water?
Yes, that is
Okay,
my
let's
water.
make sure it wasn't Austin's.
Yeah, no, I'm. People are coming home this week.
Yeah, people are cranking it. They're cranking.
All right, first things first. Before we start with the reviews, we go through a little thing we like to call Geek News. That rhymed.
did we do that in synchronization?
Yeah, we did
Let's
also.
focus on not dying from that.
We did.
All right.
First things first. Paul Rudd joins the cast of Ghostbusters 2020.
You didn't tell me this.
Oh, I didn't?
No.
Oh, yeah. Paul Rudd, he's the only person, he's the only adult cast member that's on there right now besides Bill Murray, and all the rest of the original cast.
Jesus.
Besides Harry. But also Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things is going to be in it as well.
Oh.
Plays Mike.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Stranger Things, by the way, that comes out tomorrow.
Yeah, I want to have Stranger Things predictions later.
Yeah,
But
that'll be something.
yeah. So next thing up is Aladdin is Will Smith's highest grossing film.
Really?
Yes, it is raked in $824 million.
Yeah.
Before that, it beat the record of Independence Day that did 821.
Wow, it beat Independence Day. That's insane.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I don't know if I stand by those numbers.
I know, but we think of Will Smith as quote unquote Mr. Box Office at one point. Let's not say now.
Yeah.
But at one point he was Mr. Box Office.
Well, he doesn't need to be Mr. Box Office now.
Oh yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, he's just doing it for the fun now.
But just think about it. That's crazy how Aladdin is, and he's done family-friendly movies.
Yeah.
We're talking about the same person that has done Men in Black, Shark Tale,
Yeah. Hey, Moose, thanks for tuning
Bad Boys. So like it's weird that Aladdin is his highest-grossing movie.
in. That's insane. That's pure insanity.
Next thing, it was just announced today. Disney just announced that they have cast Halle Bailey to star in the live-action Little Mermaid.
Halle Bailey?
Yeah, she's from a band. Oh, actually, not a band. It's a group called Chloe and Haley.
You lost me.
Yeah, they're Beyonce.
lost.
They're Beyonce's proteges. It's okay.
Okay.
And before this, it was rumored that Zendaya was supposed to be the Little Mermaid.
Oh, hey, Steve, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, so I'm just curious as to what Disney's going to do because Halle or Haley, as whatever you want to call her, she's African American.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be African American area, which I want to know how people feel about it. I feel like Disney is trying. We always talk about this when we talk about inclusion. We talk about being diverse. I just wish that Disney would have made an original character rather than just make someone black.
I don't know. I was kind of thinking the same thing the other day with James Bond, but you know what? If it's done right, it's done right.
If it's done right, it's done right. But I
Yeah.
think it's different with James Bond versus something like Ariel. Like James Bond's been done over and over and over. There's been different people that have been James
Yeah,
Bond.
but none of them are black. They're all like straight white men.
True,
pretty much.
but we know that there's supposed to be another Bond. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we know that this is something that people love. This is something that people are attached to. And like I said, if they would have made something like new,
Yeah.
I'd be all on board for it. But
Well,
this is
how about this? Well, chat. What do you think about this? Do you think that are you supportive of this decision with the new Little Mermaid?
I'm not going to watch it either way, but
It's our job.
oh yeah, we have to watch.
It's our job.
Oh god, I'm tired of these live action Disney things.
Dude, I had to watch so many bad movies, so you're going to go through this too. So, chat, what do you think? You hyped for a diverse Little Mermaid, or?
Well, Melissa McCarthy is going to be playing Ursula.
You hyped for a diverse Little Mermaid?
Let's move on. Quentin
Please.
Tarantino says that he might retire after his movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
All right, that can mean one of two things. Either he's getting tired of this or it's a bad movie.
He said if it does well in the movie theater, he wants to end on a high note.
But yeah, I guess before Django came out, he said that he was the kind of person that didn't believe that his best work was behind him. He always believed that it was ahead of him.
I don't know if I believe that. I mean,
I thought Django was like his best.
I love Django.
And then I loved Hateful Eight. You fell asleep.
I didn't
so
watch.
you
I
can't
really
talk.
didn't watch Hateful Eight, but I'm a fan of Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, and
Kill Bill
what
1 and
else?
2.
I'm not really a fan of Kill Bill.
I like Kill Bill. It's just such a mindless action flick.
Yeah, it is a mindless action flick, but I'm not like drawn to Kill Bill when I
Still
watch
though,
it.
I think Django is an incredible piece.
I
I thought
think
Hateful
Django-
Eight was incredible. I'm really looking forward to what this is going to be.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I mean, you know,
Well, yeah. So, like you said, apparently he might graduate from that and go to things like Broadway.
I would like to see what he's going to do next. I can't really say that.
I
that's
could only
what's gonna
imagine how irreverent's going to be if you have Quentin Tarantino on Broadway.
I mean, he's also written scripts for people and hasn't directed the movie, so
Yeah.
that could happen. I mean, most directors don't do a lot of movies. They do, like, this is his 9th movie. So if you think about it, his first movie came out in 1992.
Yeah.
So for the past, like, almost 30 years, he's only put out 9 movies.
I don't know, I think Quentin Tarantino's got some more potential ahead of him.
He does.
I think it'd be a shame to see him quit the movie making business. But if there's no passion in it, then he's going to just throw out crap.
And the last piece of a geek news we have here, Spider-Man opened up to 39.2 million yesterday.
That's a lot of shekels.
On a Tuesday.
That's a lot of
yes,
shekels.
It broke its previous record. It broke records for Tuesday premieres. It broke the previous record, which was Amazing Spider-Man in 2012, which was 35 million.
Wow. It's almost as if the better movie won. So
Hey, who knows?
that's insane, though.
I mean,
so
yeah.
is it the highest grossing Tuesday release?
That hasn't been checked yet. But
Okay.
for now, it's saying.
So Nigel didn't Google it.
I mean, that's what it told me when
Is it?
when I saw it, but I think so because there's not a lot of Tuesday releases, and since they've been doing Tuesday releases, I think that's
Yeah,
probably-
Tuesday's usually video game day.
Right. So, yeah, that's happening, and they're also teasing the new Spider-Man movies that they think are coming out soon.
Yeah, didn't they say they were doing a maximum of like 9 movies?
They're trying to do max of 9 movies. What it is, it's
I don't
also,
think they could do all with Tom Holland. I feel like
I think it's all the spin-offs. So
Yeah,
we
that makes
spoke
more
about this
sense.
before. So it was, Venom
Mm-hmm.
movie, Venom, Morbius. They wanted to do a Silver Sable, and they wanted to do a Sinister Six movie.
Yeah, because like the way they're positioning Spider-Man is they're making him kind of like the new Iron Man in it.
They're trying to. I mean, Sony only has one like universe that they can use, which is
Yeah.
Spider-Man universe. So they're gonna push it as much as they can.
Listen, they're doing a good job. So anyway, what should we start off?
Let's do Stranger Things predictions first. Let's
Okay.
see.
I'm totally prepared for this.
Okay, so Stranger Things is coming out tomorrow. There's certain things
Oh,
that
happy
happen.
Independence Day to our American viewers.
Oh yeah.
To our non-American viewers, happy Thursday.
Well, Stranger Things comes out tomorrow, and there's a lot of unanswered questions that happen in Stranger Things season 2. Mm-hmm. For instance, episode 8.
Yeah, we're going episode numbers.
You remember episode 8, right?
Which one was episode 8?
Episode 8 was the weird episode where 11 went off with this band of characters.
Yes, that was really cool.
Yeah.
That was super cool.
Some people think it's cool. Some people feel like it wasn't explained.
It wasn't explained, but it was cool. It was a fun adventure. It was kind of like, it was basically 11 showing, going out into the world and like kind of displaying that, hey, not everything's so innocent. And she's kind of realizing.
11 outside of Hawkins.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's certain things like that. There's also the fact that we never really found out where all these monsters are coming from, why these monsters keep happening, what's going on with the lab that like these things are coming from, why 11 and that other girl, I can't think of her name, but why they're being made into these like, I guess, people with abilities, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, I mean, It looks like they're going through like a whole different direction. I don't know how much they're going to address of it in the new Stranger Things, because from what it looks like, it's really focused on being like a really grand epic, and it looks like it's being really focused on like the horror aspect of it. I don't know if they're going to really touch upon those characters that much.
I feel like I watched the trailer earlier, and I feel like that guy, and I don't remember his name, but Steve's nemesis.
Yes.
I feel like he is being controlled by the Mind Flayer this time around. I feel like he looks like he's going to really, because they never really expanded on why he was so bad. And that bothered me a little bit, because I was like, why is he like semi-racist and why is he here if he doesn't serve a purpose? Like, I really wanted him to be evil, like eviler than he was, or have something to do with the Upside Down.
I don't know. I'm so mixed on that stuff, because all I'm really looking for is, because I didn't feel like there were too many loose ends left for me after season 2. I felt like after watching season 2, I was pretty content. Obviously, like there's more that they could have explained and stuff like that, but like with season 3, I just want to see it become the natural progression of where the show's intending to go.
Well, there's a lot of that. I'm curious to where Dustin's teeth went. I don't know if you saw the trailer.
No.
Dustin doesn't have any teeth. Like he opens his mouth.
Didn't he already not have teeth?
No, he had teeth at the end of season 2. I'm almost positive.
Right. Did he?
Yeah, he smiled.
Chat, did he have teeth?
When he went to the snowball.
Yeah, he did have
had teeth. So there's a scene in the trailer where he opens his mouth and he does not have teeth.
Oh, it's going to be a ride. I'm excited to see his dynamic with Steve, too, in this movie. Yeah, apparently they became like really good friends after filming season 2.
There's, like I said, a lot of stuff from the trailer. Like I see, they show a little bit of the friendship. They show the new monsters that are coming out.
What's also good, though, is this is an organic friendship. That's what I like.
Right.
Like what they did with Scrubs, you know?
Yeah.
Was it JD and...
I forgot the other guy's name.
Ugh. JD, I'm gonna call him Brown Bear because that was his nickname on the show. JD and Brown Bear.
Yeah. So
his name is Donald, I think.
Donald Faison.
Yeah.
So I know who he is. But yeah. I don't know. I'm really excited about this. I'm almost positive I'm probably going to stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning to watch it.
I'm definitely watching it on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and hopefully I'm done by the end of those. Because I don't want this show to be ruined for me by me binging it, you know? I want this show to be more an enjoyable experience.
It's supposed to be sipped like wine, and like for me, I don't really do that. Like I just
he gets the box wine and just goes
I chug it,
hooks
like
a hole in the side. Just
I'm just like, it comes out on a Friday. I'm finished Saturday night. That's the type of person I am with when these things come out, and I probably don't watch it again unless or when I do watch it, there's a lot of stuff that I feel like I missed.
Yeah.
So
because you probably fell asleep during it.
Nah, I don't fall asleep through these. These, like, if I fell asleep, like, I definitely, like, rewind it and go back to it. So, anyway, let's
go into reviews.
Let's go into reviews.
All right, so what should we start with?
Okay. We could either do this. We could do a non-spoiler review for Spider-Man and then go to Annabelle and then have our spoiler.
Or we could do yesterday first.
Okay.
Want to do that?
Go for yesterday.
Or should we save for what we're watching?
Go for yesterday.
Yesterday, the movie that I saw 3 days ago, not yesterday.
Okay.
Ha! You people. It's a movie directed by the same people of Slumdog Millionaires, Nowhere Near as Gory. Nowhere Near as Gory. It's about basically you have this guy, an up and coming musician, gets hit by a bus. The entire power in the world goes off for 12 seconds, comes back on, and then no one knows the Beatles exist except for him.
Okay.
And the premise is upon him trying to rebuild his music career, playing Beatles songs. No one knows it's him, and he becoming the world's biggest pop sensation.
This sounds like the plot of Hot Tub Time Machine.
It's kind of like I guess if Hot Tub Time Machine went to the future and Beatles didn't exist.
No, what happens is they go to the past. And
well, you have Lou, who went back to the past and he did like Lugal and stuff like that.
He did Lugal, and also Nick Webber, who is played by Craig Robinson.
Yeah,
he goes and sings like Black Eyed Peas in 1988, and now he's like a big time like.
But this is also like, but keep in mind that this is what if they did it today, like today,
right?
No one knows the Beatles exist, and I would probably be better off for it. But no one knows the Beatles exists, and then some guy starts singing like Eleanor Rigby, and comes to the top of the charts. That's kind of like what the thought process behind it is. Like the way the movie kind of breaks down, you know, he sings a couple of Beatles songs in a club. He then he goes on live television for it after shilling out his music in like this in the store that he works. Ed Sheeran meets him, and then they start skyrocketing up to the top.
Oh wow.
And like that's kind of what it is about.
So they don't erase Ed Sheeran, they just erase the Beatles.
Yeah, and the movie's like really really heavily dependent on it's just the Beatles, and that's like what's really kind of caught me off. I don't like the Beatles. I'm just gonna be dead honest. I'm a Stones guy.
Yeah, okay.
So the Beatles don't really do much for me, and I appreciate this movie because they had the takes of the music weren't sung by the Beatles. It was like more of a modern flair, but I don't enjoy them that much, man.
I mean,
it's like they're good, they're well written songs, but it's like, you know, you have like really gritty, disgusting like Rolling Stones versus I Want to Hold Your Hand. It's like,
I get it, but like
so.
I come from a household that didn't listen to Beatles, so
I came from a household where one parent listened to Beatles, one parent listened to the Stones.
See, so
And I went down the Stones route.
You went down the Stones route.
I went down the Stones route.
You're too hot for her, and she was too cold.
But like the movie, what I did like about it is they were very over the top in terms of their like imagery of the music industry, kind of throwing into your face, kind of like, hey, here's this poison chalice, right? You can choose to take a sip from this poison chalice and get your fame and your money, and that money I will take most of from you.
Okay.
But you will still be rich in some regard, or you can just go back to your normal life, and the girl who plays the big record executive throughout the entire movie, she's constantly like, it shows that she's really motivated by self-interest, just riding off the back of this character.
I mean, that's most record executives.
It is, and that's what. And there was like they kind of put the embodiment of an entire label into one person. And there's this one scene I thought was kind of brilliant where he's writing the name for the album, and he wanted to do like something like Sgt. Pepper's in the Lonely Hearts Club. Like he wanted to do. That kind of, you know, the actual name of the album. And then the record executives are like, yeah, that's too weird and long. And they changed his complete brand and everything. And they said, you're too ugly to be famous and stuff like that. They were going really in depth into that. I thought it was an interesting watch. If you do enjoy those kinds of like what if scenarios, it's a fun ride. My friend wasn't too fond of it because he just doesn't really care about like that aspect of film.
All right.
But it was also like really well filmed, really well colored.
Okay.
The After Effects animations that they used for introducing scenes and going into new locations, stuff was really well done, and it just had a really big grand feeling like you're going up to the top with this guy.
Well, I heard it went to one of the big festivals. I'm not sure. I want to say it was Sundance, and it got a whole bunch of awards for it. So my question to you is, if you were to wake up and basically find out that there was a certain music group that was no longer around, that you could say, let me steal their music, who would it be?
It depends on the genre.
It doesn't matter. Whatever you want. This is you.
Because some of my favorite artists are not known in the slightest.
Yeah, but I'm saying like they're non-existent. Nobody knows about it.
Muse would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
If I could sing, Muse would be pretty fun.
Okay.
Or I can like go old school, I guess, with like, well, not really old school, but I can go like more Slipknot. I guess that's more appealing to general audience.
Okay.
But I would hate myself if I played Slipknot at every single day of my life.
Hey, listen, you got to do what you got to do.
Muse would be pretty cool though. I feel like I'd have a lot of fun playing Muse. It's just that when you get to a point, because that's what I was thinking about. They'd have to be a really filled discography, because when you get to a certain point when you're trying to make this music, you get caught up. And once you're caught up, you're like, crap, you know, what am I going to do now? Because you got to write more music.
Oh, I already know who I would pick.
Who'd you pick?
Michael Jackson.
Could you do Michael Jackson?
I mean, I would sing the songs. I don't know if I can do Michael, but I will tell you.
Because Michael was all equally known for his performances.
I get it, but I will tell you this.
I'll do Illusions, you know, if one day we got big and get forgotten. I'll start from the ground up again.
But I'll tell you why. Because I feel like if I did Michael Jackson and Michael Jackson was disappeared, never knew anything about him, I guarantee I would save a lot of children.
I would not. Moose says Dream Theater. I would not be famous for Dream Theater. That's not something I would do. I'd have to compose the entire thing. That's the thing with the Beatles. It's a simple enough band.
Yeah.
But one thing that was really interesting is that he kept forgetting like the lyrics and like a lot of the composition for the songs.
Oh,
and
so he had just adding his own.
And sometimes, and he like there's like he had to rearrange the lyrics at points, and he just couldn't remember. There's a point where he had to remember the lyrics for Eleanor Rigby, and he went to the steeple where the song took place.
Okay.
And he's just like, what happened? Where there was rice? There was socks somewhere. He's like, what was the chain of events? And so I thought that was kind of interesting too, and that's probably how it would actually happen.
He was probably forgetting as he was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. I say no more. So, all in all, how would you rate this movie?
I give it a definite watch. I'd probably watch it again, honestly.
Okay.
It was a generally like what it gave me what I wanted out of it. It was a fun ride. It was like long enough. I like how they discovered all the what if scenarios. Obviously, it raised like other questions, like if the Beatles never existed, then all the bands that he's interacting with also wouldn't exist,
Right.
Or the labels wouldn't be as big as they are now. It's like
True.
that's kind of what kind of spiked for me. But if you just turn on your suspension of disbelief, you'll probably have a good time.
If there were no Beatles, would there be no NSYNC?
There'd be no NSYNC. There'd be no Ed Sheeran.
Oh.
I mean, Ed Sheeran is heavily inspired. I mean, one of my all-time favorite bands is heavily inspired by the Beatles. A couple of them, actually.
Okay.
And if Beatles didn't exist, they wouldn't exist, and that'd make me really big sad.
Gotcha.
So, all right. So, what do you want to do, Annabelle or Spider-Man?
Let's go with Annabelle.
Annabelle.
The
Okay.
movie that I do not like. Now, I have not seen any of the other Annabelles. I have not seen any Conjuring. So I jumped into Annabelle 3 thinking, maybe I'll figure out what this whole craze thing is all about.
So did I. I went completely blind.
Okay.
I've not seen a single Conjuring. Have not seen any of the Annabelle movies.
Right.
And going into this movie, I'm like, all right, I'm expecting to see a decent horror movie.
Okay.
And that's what I got out of it. Nigel walks in here first thing in the afternoon, and he's just like, Annabelle sucks.
Annabelle sucks.
That's his first
It's a
thing.
bad movie.
I was getting ready to throw some cuffs.
All right.
because you're gonna
All right.
hustle.
I don't think we need to explain what Annabelle is.
We do apparently, because you got the complete wrong impression from it.
I have so many different things that
Nigel-
have wrong with it.
Nigel was expecting Annabelle to be Chucky,
Basically.
and that's not
Is
what
that
it is.
wrong? Am I wrong for thinking Annabelle is going to be like Chucky?
If you
Am I
watched
wrong
if
for
you
that?
watched the first 2 minutes of the movie, you would have definitely been wrong.
I mean, I never saw this. I never saw the doll walk.
Yeah. Did you watch the first 2 minutes of the movie?
I watched the first 2 minutes of the movie.
So the way it was explained is Annabelle wasn't an actual creature; it was a conjurer as a pathway for possession for other demons.
and I get that it was a conduit for other demons.
Yeah, that's the whole point
So
of Annabelle.
I get that.
And they explicitly went into detail saying that, hey, you know what? Annabelle's an object. Objects can't be possessed. Only people can.
I get that, but Annabelle was popping up different places the whole time. So you can't tell me that it's a conduit for things and it's mobile.
Because if you saw in the movie, like Annabelle when she fell forward in the case,
She did that on purpose.
I know it was as a pathway for demons to come through.
But I understand that. But then when she got out of the case, and then she was in people's beds, and she was under people's couches, and she was on all these different places, you mean to tell me that does not have any Chucky vibes to you?
No, the only similarity with Chucky's are both dolls.
I get that. But my problem is this is a horror movie, and I get it. There was some parts of suspense and everything. My problem is, and I don't know how spoilery we're going with this or not.
Moderate. I don't want to give away the ending.
I'm not giving away the
Too much
ending.
of the concept of the movie.
Or the concept. I have a problem with them being no killing.
Will there be no killing?
There were no kills.
It's kind of like I didn't mind. I minded it and I didn't mind it as much. Was it rated R or PG-13?
I don't know, but I minded that there was no kills. I minded the fact that there were no extra people that I'm not attached to that can die. I had a problem with the fact that these people have a whole bunch of evil stuff in a room. I have a problem with that.
But that's what made it great. It was like
I'm not staying in a house that has evil stuff in it.
But the concept of the movie was that you have the girl who went in there for her own motivated self-interest, and no one knew that she went in there. No one knew that anything was going on.
Dude, those parents.
Her job was to babysit the kid, and that's when I got thinking, where were the parents? Why were they gone overnight?
The parents were gone for a long time, number one. Maybe going to find some more evil stuff. I don't understand what they do is go around finding evil stuff and bringing it back to their house. Don't they have an office?
That's their job.
Don't they have an office?
Yes, in their house.
you can't have an office in your house with all that evil stuff.
Yeah, you can.
Yes, no, you cannot.
As shown in the movie, you definitely can.
That is like having a gun at your house and like leaving the keys somewhere so your kid could go in and to get the gun.
No, because the kid didn't know where the keys were.
The kid said that she snoops around.
She snooped, but
she said it.
And plus, she's short. She can't reach all the way up there to get the latches.
Once she gets big enough, there's going to be a time where she's going to be like that teenage girl and want to go into the room.
But she grew up around these surroundings. She's going to get.
She's not the same age as her babysitter.
For example, for kids, it's like, you know, you can say the same thing. Like, if going back to your gun analogy, right?
Yeah.
You can say that, oh, a kid's growing up enough, and like, if given me, my dad left, let's say my dad had a gun in the house and he left the key somewhere, right? And like me growing up to high school, I'm not going to say, hey, I want to grab the key and go get the gun. You know?
Most kids will see what the gun feels like and touch the gun. I'll guarantee you, if you dangle something in front of a kid and tell them, hey, you can't have this until you're older, they're going to try and figure out, hey, let me see what it's like.
But it sounds like you have more fault with the parents than actually having the
I have all the fault
because
in the parents.
The kid didn't have mystery because the kid was already seeing apparitions.
Listen, I get that. She's seeing apparitions because she's in a house full of evil stuff. Well, I was about to curse.
We're going that.
Oh, okay.
So go for it.
So we can?
Yeah.
Oh, in a house full of evil shit. All right? I'm tired of this. Listen, listen, whatever your culture is, I don't care. I'm just telling you from a black perspective, black people don't keep evil shit in their house. I'm sorry, we don't have Ouija boards, we don't have urns, we don't keep none of that stuff in the house. Why?
I don't have that in my house either.
Yo, we sage and use crystals sometimes, but
that's arguably still evil.
That's not evil. That's getting away the bad vibes.
The girl still saw her ghosts at school and stuff. It wasn't like they were bound to her house.
Yo, if I am leaving the house, if I see ghosts,
or you saw the mom,
I'm leaving wherever.
You saw the mom at the graveyard, right?
Dude,
and she sees the ghosts still there. It's like it's not limited.
Dude, they had the doll in the back seat with them, and they knew it was evil when they were driving down the. Yo, they almost died because of the doll. They died because of the doll. Then they bring it home. That's smart to you? That's not smart.
They locked it up.
That's not smart.
They locked it up.
Yo, if the doll brings all these demons and stuff, yo, she was seeing stuff in the car. This is before they brought it home. The mother was seeing all the stuff outside of the car. The father almost died. Like, yo, what's going on? I would not bring that stuff to my house. No. That's the dumbest thing in the world.
Because it's their job. That's what they enjoy doing.
Dude, if you have something that gives you bad luck or has some bad juju to it and it almost kills you, you're going to bring it home to your daughter? I'm calling Child Protective Services right now. That's not, you can't do that. I don't care what decade it was. Yo, you almost died from you know the doll is messed up. You know the doll is messed up.
They knew from the get-go.
Yo,
and they knew what to do with it because they wanted to put it somewhere safe. We're in hard. We're
Yo, I don't care. There's no amount of priest or exorcist or anything that's going to make me bring that doll in my house. I already got enough evil stuff in my house. Why would I bring one that's about to kill me on the way home? That doesn't make any sense.
No, it would spawn demons to kill you on your way home.
Spawn demons? Yo, there was like a samurai demon. Like, there was so much demons in that house.
What if that samurai demon was a dope guy and you just you can go get some brewskis with him, you know?
No.
Have a night on the town.
They had an evil woman's wedding dress in there. Yo, this,
But anyway, let's go to the actual movie's content itself.
Go for it.
I thought it had some really cool scenes with horror build up.
It did. It had a lot of jump scares.
Yeah, well, the one thing that bothers me is being a producer, right? Mm-hmm. I'm really sensitive to treble. Okay. And there was a scene where all the bells go off.
Right.
I'm like, please, save my ears.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one scene where it's that wedding dress girl. Right. That was a really cool scene when you first meet her.
Right.
And there's a lot of really cool visuals to it. Mm-hmm. I thought that a lot of the demons were very imaginative and they were very fun and very. They just created some good tense atmosphere to it.
They did.
And a lot of the tension build up was making you expect something's about to happen. It doesn't, and it subverts your expectations. And
that's why I didn't like it.
I just thought, I don't know. It was a really cool tense movie. I just enjoyed that.
I get the tense, but once you realize nobody's dying, then you're like, yo, what is this? What is honestly, I left this movie. I went to the bathroom after I left the movie. I saw a guy that was in the movie with me, and I said, "Yo, Anabelle sucks." He was like, "Yo, they ain't kill nobody." And I was like, "Yeah, nobody died."
That's one thing that did bother me. I wanted to see kind of like some gore out of it.
Some gore,
Yeah.
you know.
But oh well, I thought it was an enjoyable experience. It was definitely better than the first one, from what I've heard.
I've never seen any of the
I do want to go
Annabelles.
back and see The Conjuring though, because I heard that was a genuinely great movie.
I heard it was good too. I don't know about The Conjuring 2, and they're shooting The Conjuring 3 right now in Atlanta. So
I mean, they had The Nun, which is pretty trash. So
I didn't see The Nun.
yeah, we're better off.
Yeah, there's
All
a
right.
lot of bad movies. I don't do it.
So
You ready?
do you recommend not watching it?
I recommend not watching it.
If someone went to go see the movie knowing that there weren't like kills and stuff like that, just for the build up, would you
Hey
recommend
man,
it?
listen, I wouldn't even if it was $2.99 in Walmart, I wouldn't even buy it. I wouldn't even watch it on channel 11. like I don't like this movie. I don't. Matter of fact, I think Child's Play was better than Annabelle Comes Home.
I don't know about that, but I like the movie.
It had kills.
I like the movie. If you go into it knowing it's not a slasher, I think it's fine.
It's not a slasher.
It's nowhere near a
It's
slasher.
nowhere near. If you like suspense, if you like things almost happening, this is the movie for you.
All right, and so now we're going to the Big Boy Spider-Man.
Oh my God, Far From Home.
Far From Home. So full disclosure, this is going to be a spoiler-free review. However, we do have some minor spoiler territory that we
Yeah,
wanna
we
go
will
to.
get into some.
So
spoiler
at the
territory.
very end of the show, we're going to give you a big old spoiler warning. It's going to be pretty obvious. I'm probably going to be screaming spoiler for about 10 minutes straight.
Yeah.
And we're going to go into the nitty-gritty stuff.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything about the ending or what happens in the.
I'm not going to say
post-credits.
about the ending either. It's going to be mainly stuff that kind of I thought was really smart and how they did it, but it gives away some of the plot points.
Right. But I think what we can give away is what happened after the whole Endgame incident.
Yeah, we're going to talk trailers pretty much.
Okay.
If it wasn't in the trailer, we're probably not going to discuss
Cool.
it. So
Okay.
that's your disclosure. So if you don't want to be spoiled by stuff that already exists in the trailers, you might want to tune out. But we're going to try to keep this as spoiler free as possible.
Cool.
So anyway, Spider-Man Far From Home.
He's not home, people.
He is currently very far from home. He is across that pond.
Yes, he is.
He is over. He's just flown out there, and this movie takes place with him basically being on vacation from being Spider-Man.
How
for a
many
bit.
European vacations did they ever explain that in the movie? Like
What?
about why they were all going on?
No,
vacation?
and I have no clue because I'm just thinking if I was in high school still,
Yeah.
no way in hell would they send me to Belgium.
I mean, when I was in school, they were like trips to Europe, but it was for like Spanish class.
Nothing for me.
It was for like France.
The closest
you
thing,
know.
and he was a kid in Queens too, so I don't know where Queens School got the budget.
Yeah, but they're like a magnet charter school.
Oh, okay.
So they're kind of different.
See, like for me, like the closest I got to something like that is when I was in high school. My entire class went to a museum in the city. Right, we were downtown in the South Street Seaport, and little did they know the government was shut down. They didn't bother Googling it, and the museum was closed.
Hey.
So we just had a day roaming the city.
You would think the teachers were smart enough to do that.
Yeah. Especially since I Googled it before we went there.
They're not going to believe you. You're a kid.
Yeah, that's pretty.
But yeah, I didn't know why they were going on this trip. I mean, mostly because this movie takes place after the whole incident that happened in Endgame.
Yeah,
So
see,
there's-
one thing that I did like about this movie is it actually does carry over that overarching plot pretty well.
It does, because there's a lot of PTSD that's going on with everyone, and I'm talking about the fact that there's a 5-year gap, and there's some people that are 5 years older, and there's some people that are still the same age.
And
from
they
5 years
address
ago.
that right off the bat, which I really liked.
Well, they have to.
Because my main complaint with Toy Story is that when it started, it felt like it was an unorganic starting, just from cinematography perspective.
Yeah.
Because like it goes right after like the intro, and then just goes right to
Their
the
timing
toys.
was all off, and I told you about that. Like,
Yeah,
I'm like,
but like with this movie, what I really liked about it was the when the way they introduce everything is it starts off as like a broadcast at the school,
Right.
And they refer to the snap as the blip.
blip.
And the blip being that the people who disappeared came back looking the same age, and like Nigel said, some people aged the 5 years,
Right.
and they made them restart the school semester still.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really smart. Like they were playing upon it during the movie. It's like, oh, he's not 21, he's still 16.
Yeah.
And that was like really brilliant to me.
I at first had trouble with the name the blip.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you could have used a different word, but
yeah, but like the way they use it.
they've already used the incident. They've already used the event. So I get
They
it.
could have
the
called
blip.
it the snap, I guess.
They weren't there for a snap. They don't know that there
That's
was
true.
a
They didn't
snap.
know it was a thing.
So that's why I say, okay, they can all say a blip. I mean, it sounds like some kid made it up, but
But the way they use it though is like they needed something that they can use as like a verb, you know?
Right.
Like, oh, they got blipped out of existence, you know?
Right.
And
Gotcha.
they saying that it's like, you know, I'm not going to say, hey, I just blipped this cup of coffee. That doesn't mean anything. If I blip this cup of coffee, you know, it's gonna
Right.
sit. But looking at the movie, the way they go about all of these. The way they go about it, all the mannerisms for Endgame, they fully expect you to see Endgame. You can't see this movie without seeing Endgame.
yeah, it's
You can't see this movie without seeing Captain Marvel.
true.
You can't see this movie without seeing Spider-Man 1. You need to be invested in the Spider-Man ecosystem
And Iron Man.
and Iron Man. And if you're not, you're going to be punished for that. Because
Exactly.
this movie isn't like a movie you can watch on its own merits. You will be lost.
It ties a lot of things that are going on in other
And
movies.
one thing that they did, and we have a 2-week spoiler warning, so if you didn't see Captain Marvel yet, you're lost. But what they did is actually, I don't know if you noticed, they added scarring from the claw on Nick Fury's eye.
I've seen, but I think he's had the scarring before.
I don't remember seeing that in the past.
I think I have.
I don't remember that because I remember it being way more visual this
Right.
time. And looking at the way they approached all this, it's like it was a very smart, very calculated movie. And every time a plot point is opened up to you is just smarter and smarter and smarter. And there's just so many layers to the movie, you know. And they also played into Iron Man 1. You got to see that,
Right.
Obviously, you got to watch it with a fine tooth comb to see the Easter eggs that they put into this movie.
Right.
But it's just such a fun movie because I'm going into this movie. I was not hyped in the slightest. You know,
weren't?
I'm obviously I'm excited to see a new Spider-Man movie.
Right.
I'm always looking forward to a new Spider-Man movie. I saw 3 movies in 3 days though.
Okay.
So I'm going to the theater. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm seeing this movie. I don't really care enough.
Right.
But then the movie starts playing, and I'm like, wow, I'm watching a Spider-Man movie.
Where'd
right
you
now.
go see yours? I'll tell you where. I saw
Levittown.
mine. I went to go see mine in Stony Brook. They have a Dolby Digital.
Oh, you saw it in like Atmos?
Oh yeah, it was like the screen was like this big, and we were sitting all the way up front.
Yeah.
So like it felt like our chairs were rumbling as the movie started. Like I felt like I was on a ride. And like
Yeah, you're really hyped for this.
yeah. I didn't do it on purpose, but I saw that this because I don't like that movie theater, so I had to get a good seating in that. So I got the Dolby Digital surround sound thing, and it was perfect.
And it was good that like this movie it kicks off right from the beginning. It just
Right.
starts. It gets going. You know. It shows you what personally you being me because I really like this stuff. I liked how they showed Peter's personal life. I like how they showed Peter's Spidey life. And what I wish they would do more, which they kind of touched upon, was how smart he is. Because Peter
Right.
Parker is a very smart guy.
Well, we forget that he's so smart because we go with the comedy a lot of times, and
I know.
we've seen him in other movies where he couldn't be himself as a kid. So
Yeah.
it was good to see him being a kid and being around people, and like watching him being awkward because we haven't
Yeah.
seen him be that in a while.
And he got called out as being awkward.
Yeah.
But there's one scene where I really appreciate where one of the characters says to him, "Don't apologize for being the smartest one in the room."
Yeah.
And that's really good because it kind of gives Peter that confidence to, say, hey, I know how this stuff works, And what I got to say, man, Tom Holland is a phenomenal actor. Wow.
Yeah.
There were tears, there were laughs, there were like serious tense moments, there were moments of him being petrified, and they were all so believable. I bought everything about
Yeah.
it. And I just think he's the best Spider-Man and Peter Parker.
I liked him, but I really like Jake Gyllenhaal in this.
Yeah,
I
Jake
really
Gyllenhaal
thought-
is great, but I'm just saying, like, as the Spider-Man, what do you think? Would you put him at the top?
I would put him at the top.
Yeah.
I definitely put him at the
Where
top.
you had like Andrew Garfield, which was a good Spider-Man, or you had what's his name,
Tobey
Tobey
Maguire.
Maguire, who was a good Peter Parker. Tom Holland nailed both, and what's good is he looks young too. You know, you can believe that he's a high school kid.
He looks younger than his friend. His friend looks like he's like 47, man. His friend looked
Ned?
really old. Ned looked
The Chungus?
old, man. Ned looks very old, and in the comic books, he's supposed to be Hobgoblin. So-
I think it all kind of fit. And what I liked is I also liked how some characters were like so much older than the others.
Yeah.
And they kind of played upon like the dynamics of that. It's like, oh, this guy can get drinks at a bar. He's so cool, It's like that one kid in high school who had a car and none of your friends did.
Yeah.
It's just like
Or a mustache.
yeah, or the pedo stash, yeah.
Yeah.
And they do a lot of jabs at a lot of modern social tropes like live streaming and stuff like that. It's just I can't help but say this is such a smart movie, you know? Like every scene that's approaching, or I'm just thinking like that's not right, they address it.
Right.
Like every time I think about, is there a gripe with this movie? I just can't think of a legitimate gripe that I have. What about you?
Oh, I always can find a gripe.
But they're nitpicks. I can't find like a legitimate thing
Gripe.
that's a flaw in the movie.
There were some jokes that did not land.
Yeah, but like in terms of like plot structure,
Everything else, it worked. I mean, there's a lot of surprises, and I don't want to give away any surprises. But like I said, Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio, because I wasn't sure how this was going to work, because Mysterio's background is basically, we know that he, in the comic books, he is a special effects artist.
Yeah.
So I wanted to see how it would translate, and they had to change a couple things for the movie to work, but it definitely worked. What they did was they just made it streamlined, put it as it was in the MCU.
Yeah, for some reason, watching this movie, seeing Jake Gyllenhaal in it, I just can't help but think about Nightcrawler. Just like his mannerisms and everything just really reminded me of Nightcrawler. Like the charming attitude, but the kind of like sly undertones and everything.
No Bubble Boy? No Bubble Boy?
No.
Okay.
I was thinking maybe Donnie Darko, and I'm just like, I can't see that connection.
Nah.
But he definitely reminded you. You saw Nightcrawler, right?
Yeah.
Did you get those vibes?
No. I mean, I was actually... Knowing that he's a bad guy, it's like when we played the Spider-Man video game, where we have like Spider-Man with Otto Octavius, and we know he's bad.
You're just waiting for the moment.
So I was waiting for when Jake Gyllenhaal, because I know he's a bad guy, and like he was just so nice and sweet to Peter. I was just like, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah, because I remember watching the movie, I'm like, Mysterio, he's a bad guy, right? Like my mind's not deceiving me,
you know.
But
even Pete's even making him an Avenger.
But we're getting close to spoiler territory.
I mean, that's all in the
It is, but we're getting kind of close there, because what I want to talk about in spoiler territory actually involves a trailer.
Okay.
So let's put our final thoughts into this.
Okay.
I loved this movie. I think it's better than Homecoming. I think it was just a genuinely fun adventure. I would definitely watch it again. I think I'm going to probably see it again this week. I just had so much fun with it. I can't remember the last time I had this much fun in a movie.
I'm not sure if it was better than Homecoming, but it is a great sequel. A lot of people were trying to compare it to Spider-Man 2. And
better.
And they're saying that Spider-Man 2, I think it's way better than Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2 is only good if you're a nostalgic boy.
Yeah.
You know?
The little nitpicky things that I have is like they leaned a little hard on the teenage romance aspect of it.
Speaking of which, I think MJ was great in this movie.
I think she was. Well, they gave her more to do. Let's say that.
Well, not even just that, though. Her character type, I think, worked really well.
What?
That kind of like really sarcastic, nonchalant character, opposed to MJ being a more like kind of traditional female
right.
love interest.
Well, she was way different, because remember in Homecoming we were told that she wasn't Mary Jane.
Yeah, we
were told that, and then like at the end, she was like, "Call me MJ."
Yeah,
like so she is. So now everybody's on board with her being MJ, and now that awkwardness that they have, both of them, where you see the two of them together, it's like wow. Like even when they kiss, I don't know if that's a spoiler or not, but even when that happens, you still see them being awkward.
Yeah, and at the even like. That's like really smart about it, but even going about how they approach the whole thing of her as a love interest, it was just very smart. It was very genuine, and it felt very like real. It didn't feel forced. And that's the feeling I can honestly say for this movie, is that they were the first Spider-Man movie to make what feels like to be a student real, and you could actually kind of live vicariously through Peter, because if you were in high school, you can kind of see the situations that he's being caught in.
Right.
So I thought it was really cool. I want to get into spoiler territory though.
Okay.
So I would definitely recommend watching it. I think it's better than Spider-Man 2, definitely. And it gets my seal of approval for my favorite movie this year so far. What about you?
I like it. I don't know if it's my favorite movie, but I do like it. I really did. I really did enjoy it. And JB Smoove as the teacher, I love.
Yes, I wish he did more.
Yeah.
I wish he got a bit funnier. He definitely could have.
Yeah.
And who was the other teacher? He was from Silicon Valley.
Yeah, I forgot his name.
But great movie. So we're going to go into spoiler territory. So spoiler. You have been warned. If you don't want to see any spoilers, tune out right now in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're going. Okay, first thing I want to touch upon, Mysterio, when he went with all those illusions, did you so you were thinking about how the movie took place after the snap, opening up a multiverse, right?
Yeah,
That wasn't a thing.
You're right.
That wasn't the trailer was part of Mysterio's illusions.
Well, I already knew that it was fake. It had to be fake. I already knew that.
What makes it fake? What made you think it had to be fake?
Because I know who Mysterio is. I know that these are all illusions that were coming up. Like, it had to be some kind of angle. So I knew that the whole multiverse type thing was put in there as like a farce.
Yeah.
Because it had to be a fake thing. Because in the trailer he's saying all that stuff, but I know that he's a trickster. I know that he does special effects. Like, he can do his holograms and on all the other stuff.
He straightforward said that the special effects, he had to thank his team to help him make and everything.
Right.
And my God, just me watching the scene with Peter, he was like so stuck in the moment of trying to be a character where he like had to save the world. He just wasn't ready. He wasn't mentally prepared. He was still kind of grieving over Tony, character he didn't know for very long, might I add. But I'm like, okay, I get that you think he's a valid character, but why would you just give it away, like that? Like, at least like see more about who he is.
I mean, he's naive and he's still a kid, so he doesn't know. He thought that he wasn't ready.
Yeah.
Because he's still trying not to be a superhero. So he gave him Tony Stark's glasses because he trusted him, and that's exactly what he was trying to do, get his trust.
Yeah. I get that's why he did it, but just like from Peter Parker's perspective, it's like there's so many things that like really bother me. Like, for example, like the fire guy, right? Like, how did Peter not feel the heat, like the lack of heat from that enemy? Again,
He wasn't thinking. He just saw destruction.
Yeah, I know, but going at it, like my first thought would be kind of like, wow, this is really cold for fighting a fire character.
If you notice, there was a part where he shot a web and it kind of disintegrated.
Yeah.
And it was like it didn't go anywhere, and he was like, "What's going on?"
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, there was a part, like if you watch, it was like on the he shot the Ferris wheel.
Yeah,
and it just like you saw like like it was fake.
Oh.
Some of it was fake, so
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I noticed that.
One thing I also wanted to kind of touch upon before we start wrapping this up, post-credit scenes. This made me really mad.
Why?
Because the post-credit scenes changed the entire dynamic of the movie.
I thought they made the movie better.
It did, and they should have been in the movie instead of in the credits.
I think they wanted to attach it to it. I don't think they wanted to end it a certain way, but they knew you were going to stay there anyway. Like at this point in time, they know you're going to stay at the end.
But post-credit scenes are supposed to be like fun Easter eggs, you know? Not saying, "Hey, this is what? His suit is advanced." Yeah, kind of. If you're talking about Mysterio, it's all an illusion. It's part of an image. If you're talking about Spider-Man, he has multiple suits throughout this movie.
Yeah.
But if you're going to, where was I? I just completely lost. The post credits.
Talking about the post credits.
If you're doing this kind of thing, it should be a fun Easter egg, you know? Like, it should be something that like you enjoy. Like, for example, the second one was like a good Easter egg, like for post credits. But saying, "Hey, Peter Parker is Spider-Man" to all of Times Square.
Oh, you're giving it away. Sheesh.
We're in spoiler territory.
All right, cool.
But saying that to the entire like New York City population, like, come on, man.
I mean,
that's not post-credit territory. That's movie territory.
Well,
that's how they ended Iron Man 1.
Right, but here's my beef with that.
What?
My little beef with that is that for the next Spider-Man movie, I don't want to see him in high school anymore.
I know, and
I want to see him graduate. So if you're,
that's the number one thing he keeps texting me. Is like, man, I want to see him at college.
Right, but that's the thing. So
He's
now
got 2 more years.
Now that this announcement has come out, right? This announcement's come out. So now the next movie he has to be 16 again. Why? Because you have to address what was said at that moment.
Yeah, but it's not. See, I'm not in the same boat where I feel like that. He needs to be in college yet. That's not really affecting me as much.
I want him to grow up.
So do I. But I first of all, we haven't had a really good representation of him on the big screen in high school.
True, but he's been in high school 2 movies now. He needs to graduate.
Well,
I mean, the next one needs to be a graduation one, but we're still in, like, let's say junior year.
Yeah, but it's just like going into it with the whole way they approached that credit scene really bothered me. Like the second one, where they had Nick Fury, like he was basically like he wasn't there for the entire movie. Like he was on vacation.
Right.
You know, you can't. You got to be there for the team, Spider-Man. Meanwhile, he's not there for the team. But I liked that, but that's like a good like post-credit scene because it doesn't change too much of the movie. It changes
but
enough.
it does set up for the MCU.
Yeah.
It does set up for Phase 4. So whereas everybody was saying that this was going to happen, Secret Invasion, because of the Skrulls, because of Captain Marvel, everybody's saying Secret Invasion is going to happen. So this was a little thing showing you that this is how it's going to happen, and it's already integrated in certain people. So we don't know who's a Skrull. Thor could be a Skrull.
Yeah, but overall, I really, really enjoyed this movie. I really wish that the post-credits scene was in the actual movie because they could have kept it there. It was seamless. You could seamlessly cut it back in.
You could have.
But-
I mean, there was also other scenes that weren't in the movie, like stuff that was in the trailer.
Yeah. So I do want to see a director's cut of this movie. It'd give me an excuse to watch it again. But yeah, I really...
Also, I just want to touch on one little thing. I know this is small,
Go.
but did you notice that in the beginning when we talk about the blip and we talk about that thing, that homeless thing that they had?
Yeah.
You know that was for all the people who got misplaced from the blip.
Yeah.
So I mean, I thought that was ingenious that they're raising money for homeless people who are affected by the blip.
Yeah, they addressed one of the characters said that she reappeared in her apartment.
Yeah,
and that like there was a new family there, and she had to kind of explain to them what happened, I guess.
Or the woman that said that she was blip, but she really wasn't blip. She had a boyfriend.
And she still looked older. It's like, oh, the blip sure didn't treat you well then.
Yeah.
Yeah, but great movie. I just want to say thank you everyone for tuning in, though.
Thank you guys for tuning in.
I really appreciate all of you coming in and showing your support and enjoying hearing me and Nigel babble about stuff.
And Anabelle, man, yo, don't go see that movie. I'm telling you. Even the people that work there said, yo, Anabelle sucks.
I didn't hear that.
I was in Levittown. I told the guy, I was like, yo, I just went to see Anabelle. He's like, oh, that movie sucks.
All right. Well, I just want to say thanks everyone for tuning in. If you do enjoy us, be sure to sponsor us on Patreon at patreon.com/area22. Be sure to, I don't know what that was.
Subscribe to us on Facebook.
On Facebook.
Area 22 Productions.
Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitch. And be sure to tune in to the next show coming up where Mark Mendoza on 22 Now is going to have Rob Rush.
Ooh.
He's going to have him back on. It's going to be a fun show. It's going to be a good time. And listen, it's just a good time if you want to stick around and just enjoy what's going on.
Yep.
So I'm Steve. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Drakentas _DRAKONTAS_. And I don't have anything big to say, so this is all you. What do you have coming up, Nigel? I'm going to go behind the scenes.
Hey, you can follow me on Instagram at Nigel Fullerton _. And yeah, I have a show on August 24th. And at Governor's Comedy Club, you can go to www.govs.com. It's in the little room at Govs, and you can find me when you go to the schedule. You can find me on there, and purchase a ticket. Definitely going to be a fun show. Got a lot of fun comedians going to be on there, so I would love for you to be there.
Last news comment.
Oh, and thank you for all the comments. Are we gonna review Endgame extra footage?
I'll do it.
We can, but I heard that the footage isn't really that great, though.
We'll
like it wasn't. Okay, no problem. If it's still in the movie theater, sure.
Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Thank you guys for tuning in.
All right, have a good one, people.
Take care.